Social engineering. Hello students, in this video let us learn about social engineering. Social engineering is an art to influence and manipulate people for the purpose of obtaining confidential information. Criminals trick individuals in giving them passwords or bank information. Most often, people are unaware of security lapses on their part. Sometimes, innocently, answering the questions of strangers or replying to spam email by unknown person gives criminals access to computer to secretly install malicious software. This will then give them access to the passwords and bank information, as well as giving them control over the computer. In social engineering, it is individuals who are targeted rather than secured information to gain network access. Social engineering is carried out by gathering confidential information or data authorization details and access details of a person. Attackers take special training in developing social engineering skills. They are so proficient and skillful that their victims not even realize that they have been victimized. All the security measures that an organization adopts are in vain when employees are social engineered by outsiders. Social engineering can be broadly divided into two types. Human-based social engineering, involving human interaction, and computer-based social engineering, using software to carry out the targeted action. Let us look at the following real-life scenario. In a large e-business enterprise, an employee was asked to send his photograph through email. Since he didn't have an email then, he requested another person to send his snapshot. In the attachment JPEG file received from the other party, there wasn't a photo. Instead, upon accessing the attachment, the hard drive began to spin. Fortunately, the employee was sophisticated enough to understand the danger of a Trojan horse and immediately alerted the IT department, who terminated the internet connection. Later investigations revealed that the computer was infected by the Sub-7, a more powerful backdoor. A backdoor is a method of bypassing the usual authentication methods on a system, potentially allowing remote administration of the system. Eventually, company reloaded the computer, rolled back to the day before with a backup tape, losing a full day of online orders, and stayed offline for 3 full days overall. In pop-up windows type of social engineering, a window appears on the screen informing the user that he or she has lost his or her network connection and needs to re-enter username and password. A program that the intruder had previously installed will then email the information to a remote site. Mail attachments are another social engineering ploy. Involves using attachments bearing a title suggestive of a current love affair. There are two common forms that may be used. The first involves malicious code. This code is usually hidden within a file attached to an email message. Here, the expectation is that an unsuspecting user opens the file, allowing the virus code to replicate itself. Examples are the I love you and Anna Kournikova worms. The second approach involves sending a hoax email asking users to delete legitimate files. Another method is clogging email systems by sending false warning email regarding a virus and asking targeted users to forward the mail messages to friends and acquaintances. Such an attempt can be dangerous to the email system of an organization. Attackers can also use websites to perform social engineering. This involves a ruse to get an unwitting user to disclose close potentially sensitive data, such as a password used at work. In instant messenger type of social engineering attack, an attacker chats with a targeted online user to gather personal information, such as birth dates and maiden names. The attacker then uses the acquired data to crack the user's accounts. Phishing is a technique in which an attacker sends an email or provides a link falsely claiming to form a legitimate site in an attempt to acquire a user's personal or account information. Figure shows an example of a phishing email. It shows the same technique being used on a web page. To summarize, social engineering is an art to influence and manipulate people for the purpose of obtaining confidential information. Human-based social engineering involving human interaction, and computer-based social engineering using software to carry out the targeted action. There are multiple methods of accessing confidential information from targets. Students, trust this information will be useful and advise you to be careful to ward off such social engineering attacks.